Hello. Hey, Oder. Good morning. I am doing great. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna be fixing a couple things that I've been thinking about here. That's what this stream is. It's gonna be kind of like a idle chat, you know. Little bit of work, Man, there was a game that caught my attention a couple days ago. It's called like Star Rupture. Seems like it's a Satisfactory type of game, but one where it's like you actually have to like defend your base. It almost seemed like a Satisfactory Helldivers. It was pretty cool. Cooking slime up and down. Nice. What are you cooking? Let's hop on in. Management games, not my favorite. I really like Satisfactory. Now I don't like things like Civilization, like StarCraft, you know, things like that, like the top down, you know, like, oh yeah, this, you know, is Civ. I don't like those kind of games. They're not for me. But Satisfactory, it's different. It's different to me. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Delicious slop. I used to make, I called it gruel, and it was a very lean, kind of low calorie slop, pretty much. Tastes pretty good. All right, let's come over here. Aha, this is what I wanted to do. You know what? Actually, no. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. What is these? What am I getting rid of? There, we'll get rid of that. Let's make sure this works. You know, we could do better. We could do better with this. Let's pull up.
Hello, Vies. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Hey, Fritz, how's it going? Yes, it has. How you been doing? Hope life is going well. Man, there is a lot of pollen outside. I feel like there's a sneeze just waiting to get out. Waiting till I drop my guard. That's what it's doing. Been quite well. That's great. That is great. I've been pretty good too. Work's been keeping me busy. Yeah, you know, and it's always fun working on the mod. Ill recently? Ugh, that's unfortunate. I hope that it's just like allergies that are hitting the house right now. I think it is. Better not bloom into anything. What was I gonna work on? That's right, particles for this. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste this. So this will be 1 and 1. This will be 2 and 2. This will be 3 and 3. This will be 4 and 4. And we're gonna scroll up, copy paste, make that 4. We'll create the variable up top. Well, copy, make that 4. Copy 4. Boop. Okay. I'm gonna have to stop the game. We'll rebuild, hop back in. So the particles should be fixed. This is something that has been getting to me working on this mod. And I think ever since we went the UDP packet way, there's been a lot of asynchronization, right? And I'm not even sure if it ever was quite like this, but when you use an item, the client and the server have different times for the time used. And it drives me crazy. It's unfortunate. And what happens is things like, you know, trying to make something like over here, right? Since the times drift, you can have a situation where like your spell doesn't complete right. You're not really making the right, you know, you're not making the right spell scroll. It's a big pain in the butt. That's also the reason why things like crystallized memories don't stack, because you'll end up like overeating some, you'll undereat, like it's a pain. So if we do this, we got the particle now. There should be a second one spawning. There we go. There we go. And if I move, yeah, it stops everything. All right. So now that we have this, now I can start playing with stuff a little bit. But see, I can make this 2. I can make this 3. And then make that one 2. Maybe something like that. So I start casting. We got our particles down there. There's the other particles right there. Kind of bursting with power. Bam. So I heard the sounds. Temporal touch was made. Bacon, sausage, onions, bell peppers, potatoes, and chili with beans. That actually does sound pretty good. That does sound pretty good. I've been making gravies to put like over rice and with noodles. It's pretty good. So I haven't kept up with this mod whatsoever. What have I missed in, say, the 2 months? Well, it's funny you mention that because the recent update I pushed out yesterday, big changes. Big changes. Wands are gone. It's easier to get right into grimoires. I created a whole system like this right here, rust sickness. Here, let me put on my bracelet that makes you immune to rust sickness. You know, like I have like a whole attribute system, like all the armor on the back end, like a lot has changed. New spells like shockwave, and each spell has a spell school. Like it's a lot. it's a lot. Even the grimoires themselves, you know, have like their spell school icon and what tier they are. Right, so more information on there. I've touched like almost every aspect of this mod in the previous update. A lot of bug fixes, a lot of long time fixes, a lot of optimizations. Rubber banding should be gone. There we go, and this works fine. Perfect. Since I am in creative, I put that extra logic into where it does not tick down the durability. But I should be able to plow this bear. Awesome. So what was I going to work on today? What can I work on today? You know what, let's take a look to see if anyone has opened up any tickets, any issues. Oh, this one. No disrespect to the person who put this in, but fuck them. Broken combat overhaul patch integration. You know what? It's gonna stay broken. I hate combat overhaul, and I'm not doing anything else with combat overhaul. Sorry. Not sorry. So we're gonna pretend that one doesn't exist. I'm not fucking doing anything with combat overhaul. I guess I could read it fast. Let's see. Error during setup. Seems that combat overhaul tries to auto-generate properties for RM armor but fails. RM armor does not have CO properties and thus can't be equipped. You know what? You know what it could be? You know what it could be? I guess this is the most I will do. This is the most I will do. Oh, boy, more CO. CO never goes away. It's like herpes. It's the community herpes. Freaking everywhere you look, someone's got a rash of it. Freaking hate CO. And the thing is, like, it's not even a bad mod. It's actually a pretty solid mod. It's just the fact that it hijacks freaking systems. Like, just leave it alone. Just walk away. Leave it alone and walk away. Combat overhaul. Ugh, ugh. Hate this. Remember you rage coding over so many people complaining about it? Man, there are bits in my code. Let's just try and look for like CO. There we go. Doesn't work, was going this route for CO. Fuck you, CO, breaking my systems. Fuck you, CO, fuck you, CO. Let's see. Stupid, damn, dumb, smelly CO. Hey! Frickin' combat overhaul. I hate combat overhaul. I'm all heated. I'm all heated. Alright, I guess this will be an easy fix, but this is the most I'm doing. The most. I was hoping combat overhaul would have been like a fad. You know what I mean? Like, it had its fun. Now, you know, it's time for it to go away. But it's here to stay. There's no cure for it, apparently. No cure. So all I have to do is just edit this. Ugh. I feel dirty. I feel dirty doing that. I pledged to myself. I said, you know what? I'm never touching this file again. And here we are. Now, if I wanted to be good, I would download Combat Overhaul, put it on, see if it worked. Should I be good? I should probably be good. That way I can say with confidence that it is fixed. I'm just waiting for that patch to break. One of these days, that patch will break. Hopefully by then, other people make the patches for me. There was someone that asked, like, updating to the newest mod, will I have to download the fix to work with like X skills? And I was like, fix? I don't have X skills compatibility. You will have to keep that other mod that added it, but I don't do that. Can I interest you in a nice summon, like, conjuration spell? How about a nice minion? All right, what am I doing? I'm getting combat overhaul. I have it downloaded somewhere here. I just have to use my eyes in 5 seconds of time. There it is, combat overhaul. It's an older version. It'll work. There we go. Ugh. It hurts. Now it hurt easy. If it doesn't crash, we're good to go. I saw a bunch of errors. Oh, raccoon. Oh, that's right. Because I have combat overhaul now. So, you know, it's trying to, like, edit stuff. Oh, wait, wasn't there like another mod you have to use with combat overhaul? Or is it a standalone? I don't even know anymore. Don't you need, like, config library or something? Oh, I don't want to look it up. I'll just assume you need something else. Alright, where's combat overhaul? I would have downloaded them both at the same time. Yep. Wait. Maybe not. Alright, I'm gonna have to go to the stupid, dumb website. Combat overhaul. What do you need to work? What do you need? Do you need my blood? Do you need my soul? I literally type in combat overhaul. You would think it'd be the first mod. No, it's like, you know, 7 rows down. I'll download the newest one. Yeah, it needs overhaul lib. There we go. Alright, let's back out. Being good would be faster. Grab newest version just in case. I know, Fritz. Fritz. It's been long and cold here, man. I have, you know, to be fair though, there have been many streams where I did not rage with Combat Overhaul. It's just recently it's flaring up. That's what it's doing. The Combat Overhaul itch is flaring up. There, newest Combat Overhaul, newest config library. There we go. Let's hop in. Whoa, what is all of that? That ain't me. That's Combat Overhaul error. Oh wow. Whoa. Well, it didn't crash. All right, we'll get some of my armor, I guess, and equipment. Here we go. Oh, because it didn't load. It didn't load. What the hell? What was there another mod that you need for this too? Is there another one? Oh, this technically is for 1.20.7 as well. It's backed up. Wasting so much time. Ugh. Restart the game after installing the mod. Okay, just did that. Oh, you know why? It's because it does like all that deep harmony stuff that I think has to happen when the game first loads. There we go. Looks okay now. Here, let me there we go. Let me soulbind with this. If I just right click, oh, that's right, because right click doesn't work because it overrides everything. You gotta drag and drop it. What is this, torso? There you go. Combat Overhaul seems to work, maybe. 350 mana. 335, yep. It added mana. Perfect. Can I see it on my character? Yes. All right. I don't want to hear any crap about Combat Overhaul again. I'm taking it out. It's gone. Where is it? Open folder. Wash my hands. Let's shut down so it's fully out of our system. The sad part is, like, it's really not a bad mod. You know, like, I just... I guess config live. No, it does say that it's compatible with it, but it looks like it's not required. Man, I got it a little too late last night. Apparently, the ViesCraft game, you know, or modded Minecraft. I wouldn't consider it a game, right? It's like a heavy, you know, full conversion mod, it seems. But they had like a flash. This is what I don't like. I want to play it, but they have these like flash, you know, like, oh, we're gonna throw the server up for like 4 hours tonight in 30 minutes. You know, and it's like, well, I have a life. I can't just stop what I'm doing. Be like, oh, sorry, I gotta play a game that's gonna last for like 4 hours. I want it to come live. I want to play it. You know, Oder, that's how you get me back in EverQuest. We hop on to EverCraft, and we just have fun there. This is Canada Dry Fruit Splash Cherry Ginger Ale. Pretty good. Okay, so that's fixed. Let's see if anyone else ran into any issues. Yeah, let's get this Combat Overhaul off my browser. There we go. Does the newest version work in 1.20.7.2? No idea. Test it out. I just fixed the magic tricks. Yup, wands are gone. You don't have to destroy them before the update. My mod will do it for you. This person looks like they're complaining about attunement. Inner essence core in seemingly 10,000 in bold essence. Well, it's actually 50,000 in bolder. Alright, so nothing else there. I think we're good. I think we're good. What am I working on? What are we gonna work on? Shockwave. Boop. What are we gonna work on? You know, I could... Let's pull up the list. Pull up the list. So, I have the void creature that I wanted to make that, like, stalks the player. I have to comb through the files and actually do all the correct localization for everything. This is a cleanup thing I could do, not streaming, because that's kind of boring. Fix shaders for essence generators and gateways so they cannot be seen through blocks. I'm not sure if I really want to work on that, because I could get rid of this. I can get rid of this. I don't know, should we do that? Do people want to see shaders? Oh my, that was so good. A bit greasy, but so good. Yeah, sounds good. I'm probably going to whip up a rich... It's gonna be like a pot pie. It's gonna be like the inside of a pot pie. I'm gonna dice up a couple carrots and saute an onion, cook up some chicken, and then I'm gonna... It takes me about 30 minutes to make a thick, like, hearty gravy. Dilly! Yay! Let's go shaders! Question, how far away is it visible? I'm not sure, but pretty far. Pretty far. Dilly! You're here! Cooking stream. I totally could. I've done a couple cooking streams before. I very much... One thing my friends know about me, I very much enjoy cooking. I got like my favorite saute pan and my pasta roller actually come from Italy. So like, when you look at the instructions and it's like in Italian first, it's pretty awesome. My pasta roller is fun. That's fun. But it's one of those things where like I have to make sure I have nothing going on because like I go for it. Okay, yeah, probably should be done then. The Minecraft shaders and texture packs are getting kind of crazy. I bet. I mean, you give it enough years, right? Like, people are gonna do some crazy stuff. Oh, Dilly. So, what I was talking to you about before, it's something that snagged me again. When you're using an item, I'm telling you, man, the client and the server see different times, like completely different times. That's why, here, I'll show you one thing. And it could be, you know, it may not be just a UDP thing. I think it may be, it's something that has kind of always been, ever since I started this mod, I noticed that, actually with the crystallized memories. So, because one thing's like, people are like, oh yeah, you could just edit the JSON and you know, increase the stack size for crystallized memories. So I'm like, you realize you have to use them. And sometimes it will either use 2 of the item, sometimes it will use none of the item and still award you the experience. Sometimes it will consume 2 and only give you enough for 1. Sometimes it'll do like a 2-shot. Other times it just does 1 and does what it's supposed to. But it seems like the client and the server, because I run some things on the client side, some things on the server, so you would expect those things would like meet. But sometimes like the client goes a little too fast, and then you can kind of finish consuming the thing early, and I'll show you. It's weird. I don't know much. Like I don't know how to get around it. Here, let me find my crystallized memories. and then we'll get into shaders. Right, so increase the stack size. Here we go. I'll do 16. You know, Oder, do you have what kind of things are the Minecraft texture, like shaders and texture packs, looking like these days? You got me curious. All right, so crystallized memories. And this is something that just got me with my, it's something I just had to quote-unquote fix. Here, we'll just grab a bunch of them. I'll put them right in here. Because... Turn down the music a bit, that'd be great. Yeah. Is it too high? I need to... There we go. Is that better? There we go. So... It's something that just affected this right here. So what I do is I say, okay, you know, you get a, you want to duplicate a scroll. Let's get a scroll out, scroll a duplication. So when you start casting, it is 15 seconds. But what happened before is it did not, like it doesn't work at 15 seconds because the client sees one time, and it's still going. So the client finished early, and then the server had to get to 15 seconds, and then it finally, you know, happened. Oh, look at that. It just, that's what that crunch was. It just broke. It ate my book. I forgot to repair. It ate my book. But see, like, it's weird. The client and the server are not seeing the same times. And if you do something like this, right? I'm gonna sneak and use this. So we have 16. Oh, hold on. We have 16, and let me clear my experience so it's easier. Here we go. There we go. I just leveled up, right? So I'm sitting at 0% mana. Right there, 0 out of 100%. Using one of these will give me 5% mana. So I'm gonna sit here and use it. So I got 15 and I got 5%. Good. $14, so that was 10. One of these times you're gonna use this. 13, so that should be 15. Is it not fucking doing it now? It was doing it all last stream. 11, there we go. So I went from 13 to 11, and I have 25. So it ate 2, right? But I think it only gave me 5%. Right? But that's, you know, and I'm just using it. Like it's weird. See, there's 10. 9. All right, keep going. Oh, and you added a percent symbol now? Oh yeah, you've been gone for a while. You've been gone for a while. 8, 7. See, it's 5. There we go. Right, so it seems like there's just some like slippage. And when I'm doing the used seconds used, like I could sit there and I could see like the times are different, you know, and the longer your cast time is, like the longer you let that run, the more of a discrepancy that you will have. So I noticed it hardcore here, like it actually, this system was broken. Because like the client does some things, right? That's like my casting bar here. Right, that's my spell casting bar is all client side, right? Renders on the HUD. So I have to keep track of time like that. Also the, you know, particles and stuff too. And then it's bizarre because the server's the thing that actually like eats the items and does the effects. It's pain in the butt. Put a log in the code to log on step the use time for each side. Here we go. Start on step. I'll pop it right here. RMR references dot logger. It's one of those things where I can I can get by. I can get by with some of that lag, that the lag. And I just chalk it up because some people are like, oh, every once in a while a spell doesn't complete. I'm like, it fizzled, but really it's not me fizzling it. that's just built in. All right, let's do by entity dot world dot side. Here we go. We'll kind of clean it up a little bit. There we go. We got it right here. Oh wait, this is not spell casting. This is, move that over. This is going to be using the item. It's actually, I was testing something else here. Let me put this back to true the way it should be. Because if you stop channeling it, there we go. So I'll stop like there. So the client went through and the server kept going to 5 seconds. See, this isn't even that bad. Let me put this logger on the spell casting. You know, it would actually be better here. Maybe that's why most of the time it was okay, and then other times it wasn't. Because you saw it too, right? Like, I went to use an item and it consumed 2 of my item. So it's like it double tapped it. And here, let me use this stack here, and then I'll do a reload, right? Because I'm like, well, is it like phantom, you know, kind of some kind of like phantom thing going on? So 15, I'll wait for it to hit 2, 14, 12, right? So it should have been 13, but that's 12. And then I'll reload. Because I'm thinking like, well, did the client mess up? You know, I'm trying to see like where the issue is. See, it's still at 12, so it did consume 2 items there. It's weird. I gotta fix this. So what happened was we were going to duplicate the spell, and it looks like I destroy the book before I complete the spell scroll. So it created the no item. Maybe put a purposeful lie in the player, make them look like they have a 0.25 longer second cast time. Yeah, the problem is though, like the longer that is, the more of a discrepancy it is. I just subtract 2 seconds from the 15 on the server side, and use that. And it's like, yeah, you could kind of finish it early sometimes, but those who see it all the way through, you know, and that's when you get the, you know, the thing where it's like, okay, you're trying to duplicate something. You know, I was channeling the spell, and my cast bar was complete because the client saw that 15 seconds had elapsed, but the server was still ticking, and when the server was complete, that's when it actually ran everything. It's very weird. Let's use, I guess it really doesn't. Oh, it's got to be a tier 1 spell. Here, let's check a book out from the library. Here, we'll use one of these. No, we won't. Let's use a conjuration spell. Those are all tier 2. There we go. Summon Ho. There we go. Make sure this spell actually works. Boop. Looking good. Throw that. Oh, I got clairvoyance working too. Now it displays the health as well and the resistance. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's go back over. So let me look at the code. Item scroll, no spell scroll. It should be in here. So here we go. On interact stop. All right, so from the server side, we damage the grimoire. So create spellcasting lacrima, damage grimoire. We attempt to run the negative effect. And then that right there is finishing the scroll. So what I need to do is come up here and move this down. That should fix the problem. So after we're done with everything, then I can damage the grimoire. If it destroys it, at least it's not taking a snapshot of no spell. All right, let's do this. Let's do this one. See, and you can see the seconds ticking down there. 3, 2, 1, blast off. But we still got a little time. It's very, very weird. Very weird. All right, this should work. It looks like created by Vice. That is on there. Let's do game mode 1. Oh, so Dilly, what do we know what 1.21's gonna have? See, that no longer breaks. I'm curious about 1.21. What the big features are gonna be. I hope there's something that comes out soon for it. Unfortunately, I have to like go through all this. There we go. Particles wrapping around. Much durability. I really should have built this closer. 70%. Oh. You know what? I could die a bunch of times. I'm just gonna die a bunch of times to lower the durability. Right? Because I could just respawn right up here. We're at 63%. 51%. He's a genius! Respawn. Oops. There we go. Where was I set up? Oh no! Where is everything? Where was my home? Oh no! Was it over here? Oh. Had to have been over here. This sucks. I'm lost. Oh, thank God. It was right over here. Oh. So where am I at? Where am I at? 23%. If I kill myself one more time. Respawn. All right. Okay, 6%. Now let's make a spell scroll. Here we have to complete this array again. Boop. There we go. Step on it. Insufficient mana. Not anymore. The code for it's kind of starting up, so still a bit. Bit shouldn't be such a big one. Yeah. It's a weird thing. And you know, Dilly, the thing is, like, what I'm doing for like spell casting and stuff, maybe it is putting a lot of stress. And it could just be me maybe not understanding how a HUD works, right? Like, cause my assumption is like, well, I mean, the bounds of my HUD, because like it has a casting bar, right? It's just weird. It's just very weird. And I didn't really notice it too much until I switched over to the kind of system where you have to like hold down, you know, the spell. Oh, and I have no spell. It consumed the book, right? But it did make the correct spell scroll, so we are good. Someone said fly. The fly spell wasn't working. I'll just use this here. Game mode 1. Here, game mode 2. Let me go down. All right. Game mode 1. That bear wants to eat my biscuits. Well, it seems to work for me. The little particles under my feet are working. That seems to be working. Ooh. Hit this bear with a fireball 3. Oh, actually, kind of neat thing I just thought of you could do. You could get something like Flash Heal. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, let's put Flash Heal in here. So, like, I could be a healer, and I could, like, fly up in the sky. I thought I could cast, like, Flash Heal on people. or other things. I could fly in the sky, and I can heal drifters to hurt them. See, you could live the best priest life you could. Oh, I gotta see if traders have magic stuff, and they do. Good. So that's a spell cipher right there. What do you have? Who let you out of jail? Different spell cipher. Talking to us like we're friends. Quite a few. Wow, this guy. There we go. I wanted to make sure that it had the regular spell cipher too. Oh, dude, swiftness for 6 gears? Come on. All right. What else can I fix? What else can I do that's quick? Oh, the shader. Duh. This was the whole thing here. The whole start. I am going to have to shut down. Oh, you know, Dilly, this is gonna sound far like this is something I don't know how to do. I have an interesting thing here. When I put buffs on, right, like the fly spell. What I do is I set a callback. I register a callback, right? And I say, you know, go for this long. When the register callback happens, it strips whatever the buff was or whatever the stats were. Right now, I have it to where if you reload, right? If you reload, I clear all the stats and everything because obviously I've reloaded the game or I've logged out of a server. And all those like callbacks that I had registered go away. See, and right now, like the fly spell is gone. It's like clean slate. I was toying with the idea of when you log back in, that you get the register, the callback re-registered onto you, so I don't have to clear the stats. My question is, well, I guess it's not a question. I honestly don't know how to do that. It's weird. It's like, I don't know if I would store that as like saved game data, if it's like, I don't know what the best way to do something like that would be. It's a very, because I would also have to take a snapshot, right? A snapshot of how many seconds that you have left, right? And then I would have to use that in the callback, and then I think I would probably have to it's a weird one. It's really weird. I tried to toy with it, and I felt like my brain just couldn't comprehend what I was trying to do. Because I'll do a quick test. I'll do a very quick test here. It was just so weird. There we go. It's in this part. So if I get rid of this stuff where it resets everything, when I log back in, the buff, like my counter, is still kind of ticking correct. It's just so weird. I think I need to figure that out a little bit more. Maybe keep track of the buff itself and the time, and then maybe do like a broadcast packet when the player logs back in that would put those listeners back on using, you know, like, yeah, I see you have this spell, you know, buff, like, quote unquote, like, saved, so create a listener with this, you know, registry name ID and this amount of time in, like, you know, in thousands of milliseconds, right? But it's one of those things where I'm like, it's like, do I save it as like a watched attribute string list? You know, like it's something I gotta think of it more. And I was just, I'm not asking you, you know, how to do it. It's just like it's something that for whatever reason was burning my brain. Because I'm like, yeah, it would be really cool to do that, right? So I came in here, I'm like, well, why won't it do that? And I'm just like, what if I clear all this stuff out that does all the resetting? You know, on the client and the server, right? Like, it's clean slate it. It should work if I don't get rid of it. And that's when I realized, like, oh, it's the listener. It's the tick listener. Here, we'll do something like this. Let me go into here. Let me find the re-add. I'm gonna have to restart bringing this back online, I believe. Where'd it go? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Hold on. Spell effects. This is what I wanted. There, that's what I wanted. I commented the whole thing out because I was just like, it's dangerous putting something in and you don't understand what it is, how it's working. Here, I'm gonna have to shut down anyways because I'm gonna use the swiftness spell because that one is easy to deal with. Swiftness, here we go. I'm gonna set this for like 30 seconds. There we go. That's going to be the default. Swiftness 1, the buff will last for 30 seconds. This is the next thing. I'm going to have to like buy like some soda, get some candy, you know, really take this back, right? Like just maybe gut the system, do another refresh of it, make sure like everything's kind of, you know, because you learn more as you do this stuff. There, so I'm gonna hop in. And then we will cast the buff on ourselves. We'll cast swiftness. Hope you're doing well, Dilly. Hope your day's going well. Weekend. Weekends are always good. Game mode 2. Swiftness. I might as well stay right in creative, right? So I put the buff on myself. I'm an alteration specialized mage right now, so that 30 seconds was increased to 45 seconds. Here, let me take this off. Get my attunement exhaustion debuff. Right? So right now, 65%, right? Because it adds 50% to my current run speed. Well, technically, it would have added more than that because that was also increased by 25%. Or was it 25%? It was actually more than that. No, it was maybe it was 25%. I don't know. But right, like when it ticks down, oh, my walk speed's slower. Yeah, so it probably was 25%. So I got 90 for walk speed, right? But the buff fell off and everything was good. And this is why it was burning my brain, Dilly, because I feel like I'm close and I probably have everything put in. I just need to connect the right dots. So here we go. 30 seconds. Let me reload the game. It just there's no callback, registered callback, so it never strips the buff off, right? Because there's nothing ticking, right? So it kept a snapshot. So I'm like, I know I have most of the stuff done. I'm doing it right now. I'm at 140% run speed instead of 90, so it increased it by 50%. But this is where, like, when I get on, I need to figure out where the heck I'm storing that number and figure it out. It's just at the time I was doing a bunch of other things. Yeah, see, and now there was nothing to register, right? That callback to remove the buff. So it's like that's what you got. That's what you got right here until Swiftness is cast again. Like if you get Swiftness cast back on you, it doesn't further increase it, right? But I feel like I'm this close. I feel like I'm so close. Because the other part is, like, I think I have a text print statement, maybe? You know, I probably took it out. But, like, I could track and see, like, hey, this is the buff that you have currently. So it's like, I'm close. Very close. Re-add listeners. Here we go. Yeah, callback. Right? So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at all my watched attribute keys, and I'm looking for the callback code, right? Because I put a list of the attribute keys on you. Like I store them on the player. And then that's really all the commented out stuff. Like you know what I found out I do? I keep all my commented out codes so I know what I've already tried to not do it again. I don't know if you do that too, Dilly. It could just be me. But you know, if I don't do that, then I could be doing the same thing like 4 or 5 times over and being like, yeah, that doesn't work and it should. But if I have it recorded there, then I know. Right, so if we go up to a little further up here. Oh, you know, there is nothing registered right now. I'm gonna have to cast the spell and then do a rebuff here. Here we go. So now if I do that and then reload, I should see the print statements. Wait, I enabled them, right? Yes, I did. Yeah, why isn't it doing it now? If it contains in the watch attribute keys, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess that's the point. I don't know what I'm doing. Could be anything. I mean, scroll up here. I'm a dummy. We'll do that. Let me get rid of that. And let me comment that out, and then let me re-enable it. I gotta re-enable it here. All right, let's cast the spell. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to reload, but we'll see. All right, did it do it? I don't see. I don't see shit. I don't know. I'm not going to waste time on this anymore. Let's go to the shaders. The shaders are going to be easy. I don't want you to see through it. Honestly, I don't think I want you to see through any of these shaders. This will actually be a really easy fix. Right? Do I want you to see through any of the shaders? Maybe. You know what? Maybe I do. Let's look at what shaders I am using. Or let's pull out a couple things here. So we have a Celestial Prism. Let's get a Devouring Void. There we go. So that is something you will be able to see through blocks. We do not want that. Let's pull up the shader code. Shaders. Magic Stations. Devouring Void. Pull up both of these. And I also want to pull up spells, summoned items, ultimate weapons, glowing. So this part right here is what I want. Let me get rid of that. Pop that in, and then this one. I'm gonna do a reload. I could have probably just done .reload shaders. Probably. But this works too. A lot of times I find that like it's muscle memory for me now to just do Control F1. There we go. See, fixed already. So you cannot see this stuff through walls anymore. Or at least the Devouring Voids. It's incredible! How'd he do that? That's pretty cool. Alright, let's make it daytime. Oh, you know what? This one I can't do that with, because you'll lose the whole effect. You have to be able to see through this, you know, that's part of the effect. It's the cool part of the effect. Yeah, so that one I'm not going to be able to do too much with. Yeah, that's kind of what you're gonna see. Sucks, but you know, it's the world we live in. Gateway, I could do the gateway. Does a quick fix. Man, I guess I will have time to take a look at things. Let me do dot reload shaders. There we go. You can no longer see through the block now. It's beautiful. That is pretty cool. I do like that effect. The Spellforge. Oh, you know what? The Spellforge, I kind of want you to see through that too. I mean, that's the whole point. It's like, it kind of blends in. You could see through it, and it like... You know what? Let's take a look. Let's see what it would look like. Kind of wonder what it would look like here as well. I could try it. I'm gonna see what that would look like. Celestial Prism. There's only 2. Watch is gonna look terrible. Yeah, it pretty much kills it. That doth not look good. It's a sad looking, I mean... It is kind of cool, actually. Because you could see more of the model now, right? And it's just kind of like pulsing, right? Fluttering a little bit. And if you get really close, you could see more. I don't know. Should I keep that? Because, like, I could make the effect bigger, too. Here, I may keep that. I kind of like that. Although I like the old... But I feel like the old way, there was an emphasis on the shader, and it was just, like, on top of the crystal. You know? It looked like it wasn't inside the crystal. So let's go into renderer block. Celestial Prism. Alright, so there's that. You got the upgrade runes, it does that. Yes, I can. Plus, we'll do mod size. We'll say float. Mod size equals 0.25 F. Oh, you know what? This is going to make it smaller. I need to do a negative to make it bigger. What do you think of that? All right, it could pulse down. And those flare-ups become pretty big. I kinda like it. Let's try and make it a little bit bigger. There we go. We could see it right there on the side. Let's do like 3.5. See, I like that it still can kind of retract back into itself. And then the flare up. And then it retracts. You know what? This is going to be the new thing. I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride. So the Celestial Prism can no longer be seen through walls, Devouring Void, Gateway, the Spellforge, the stinky old Spellforge. Get some magic chalk. Yeah, see? Oh, I forgot to set something back, I think, for the Spellforge. Whoops. Entity... where is it? Spellforge. Entity Station... I think I totally forgot to I changed the variable so it wasn't like ticking to like to get to be ready. And I totally forgot to change it back. All right, event. Okay, here we go, the process. That was it. The powering up, I just automatically set it to 999, so it was like maxed. See, I like the fact that you can see through this. I think this one should stay. Like, you'll be able to see it through walls, but I'm okay with that, because it just looks cool. And then if I did that, right, this would be like a hard shutoff. Like, you would see these kind of inside, and it would look weird, because right now it flips to, like, your view. That way it's always trying to be, like, center on. So you can't, like, see it from an angle. Kind of like a rift, right? A rift, you can walk up to it, and if you fly above, you could see that it's, like, thin, right? It doesn't also flip up to like meet your eyes where you're looking to kind of look circular all the time. See, I could be standing on top of this and it looks like that. So I think that one's solid. Yep, and that one definitely you can't see it anymore through the wall. Flare up. That does look cool. I like that it's like embedded in there now. It's cool. All right. What else? What else? Let's see if anyone came up, found any more problems. Using light essence, evocation, ciphers, it seems the only spell I get is ignite. That's right. That is correct. Hold on, let's pull up the spreadsheet. You know, it's funny, when I was making this system, I think I had used light evocation as the talking point. And like and talking about how I wanted to create a system, but it wasn't for all spells. Because if you look here, basically neutral, neutral, and light. So ignite is the only light spell. I just need to get more ideas for evocation spells to put them in. Because I took all of these out and all of these out from finding random, finding the random spells. So, yes, all you will get is light, because that's the only thing that's available in the rotation. The thing is, if they tried to do evocation dark, you'd get no spell. Because I don't have any dark spells registered right now that you can find. Evocation was the one spell line that felt very light. Mainly because it's light, but it's not. Because you have all the different elemental attacks, right? Like you shoot a fireball or whatever, fire explosion, ice explosion. It automatically makes it to where like you have 9 versions of each attack spell. So it feels, feels very light is the astute word for it. But yeah, that would be quite accurate. All right, no issues in the issue tracker besides this Ugh, combat overhaul. Ugh. Ugh. Like, I can't believe I said that. There we go. So now it's gotta sit there and simmer a little bit. Gathering energy. Oh, attunement exhaustion is almost gone. It's fantastic. I don't really have much else to do. I could come out with another update. Maybe I'll get the change logs in. This one actually, there's a fix in it for a handful of things. We just did the shader stuff. This is working. We use spell duplication. There we go. I'll duplicate the healing spell. Concentration. Oh. I'm like, wait, why isn't it working? I need a scroll of binding. Which is also cheaper. A lot of the recipes got a lot cheaper. Magic. There we go, a scroll of flash heal. Not too shabby. Oh, and I can put my attunement back on. I gotta drop something here. I love the eyes. When you attune to your element, like you have like I love that pattern. I don't know why. You can see. I could see the magic in this guy's face. He meant business. Oh, I gotta find something for this ritual too. I like this ritual. I like the way it looks. It's forthcoming. Yeah, I think it's pretty much good to go. I will update GitHub. We'll pull it on up. We have a handful of changes here, plus the changes I just put in. Let me reset crystallized memories back to being a stack of 1. Because people are not going to be happy consuming more than 1 of those. I'm saving them from themselves. Where's crystallized memories? I don't see it. Did I close it out? Nope, I did not. There we go. I wonder if maybe I should just try to run everything server side? Maybe. Oh, her trotter. Yo, am I late? Little bit late, because I was about to end the stream. No one else was really around. So we fixed a handful of things, handful of little things. I might as well just go through what we did. I fixed my patches for combat overhaul. I made it to where you used to be able to see through, see the shaders through walls. That is no longer the case for the gateways. We changed the shader here so it's more embedded. You can no longer see through the walls there as well. So you still see it like pulsing out and stuff, but it's not just like on top. And again, right? Can't see it through a wall. Same thing with the devouring void. You know, that is now something that you can't see through walls either. And it's kind of cool because like you can now see that there is something inside. Definitely neat. This one's still the same because I like the effect. Let's see, so we fixed combat overhaul. I fixed those shaders. I fixed a little issue with the spell forge that just kind of like auto increased. I looked at... I'm here but chatting on Discord while I play UQ, so attention all over the place. I gotcha. We tried to make the crystallized memory stack. That's just not working. So we're gonna reset that back down, and then I'm going to get rid of the print statement. That way it's not spamming. There we go. There we go. Man, these shader updates are really cool. Nice. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad you like the update. Lot of QOL changes. It was amazing changes across the board. Like everything feels smoother. Everything like makes sense. The attributes are awesome. You know, the new spells in there, the new equipment here, right? I think it's been an awesome update. Let's see. What else did we do here? Trying to add some stuff for the so I fixed, there was a problem with the creating the spell scrolls. So what's happening is the client and the server are desyncing, and 15 seconds is not 15 seconds on both sides. So that one, it's like it's working, but it's not perfect. This isn't a shader, no. Okay, I was thinking like, do I need to do something with this? I don't think so. Oop. So that was fixed. Oh, before I do anything else, the spell effects. You know what? We got a little time. Let me... Yeah, and swiftness. I have to put swiftness back. So let me try something here. I just put the spell on me. I decreased this spell in particular by a lot so I can easily test with it. Let's go into... I want to look at spell effects. I also want to look at... proto contracts. No. Messages. And then there's the buff list. So buff timers. Effect ID, duration. So I have the minimum. Oh, what is this again? So the max duration, the remaining time, and the affected player ID. So what I would like to have happen right now, if you log out and you have buffs on, those buffs go away. All the stats go away. And it's because when you log out, I do registered callbacks, right? So you put a buff on yourself, I set a timer, I pop a registered callback on you, and then when that time expires, the server will then run the command to clean up your bonus spells, right? Cleans all that up. When you relog, those attributes go away, so there's nothing to ever... If I don't kill those buffs, they'll stay forever. So it would be cool to make a system that I can take that snapshot information and reestablish your buffs. That way you could log back in and still have, 30 minutes of your hour-long buff, the next day. But there's a lot of complexity with something like this. I'm telling you, man, you're doing an amazing job. Even if people complaining sometimes, it's because they really care about the mod. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. This update has been a solid one. It's taken me a while. But and I think people are gonna appreciate getting into grimoires faster, and like all the new like belts and necklaces, and the whole the stat system actually makes sense now. The new specializations are pretty cool. A lot of decent stuff. And then I added a bunch more spells because I just had the idea for like Shockwave, I think, is one of my favorite ones now. One of my favorite ones. Flash heal is actually really cool too. Boop. Throw that. Okay, so what I need to do here, the buffs, if the buff list contains and if it doesn't contain, I need a snapshot of this. Oh, wait a minute. This may not work either. I really have to think this through. How am I going to get this information to the player? Let me take a quick look at how buffs are applied. That's probably a great first step. Let's look at swiftness. Researched, tier 1. Alteration. Swiftness. So you cast the spell. I get the duration and the stat modifiers. I create a dictionary that is going to increase your walk speed. And then I apply the buff to you through this means right here, which basically applies the duration. I look to see if like the spell scroll is there, right? And then I add it to the temporary stats. So I'm putting in the dictionary, right, which is what's increasing your stats. I'm putting my mod ID in there, the duration, the ID of the spell, passing all that information down. And then in here, right, this is where I check to see if you have a spell that is more powerful. If I have Swiftness 1 and someone casts Swiftness 2 on me, it will overwrite that spell. But if I have Swiftness 2 and someone tries to put on Swiftness 1 on me, then it will not take effect and my old buff stays intact. Because I didn't want someone coming through and like griefing someone by wiping out their tier 3 versions of a spell with a tier 1. So this is all the checks that I'm doing here, right? I'm looking to see if you have the attribute for affected ID, which I think is just the string. Yeah, that's the registered name of the spell. And basically I'm looking to see like, hey, you know, like, is this, should I unregister the callback of the old spell so the new one can be applied? If not, am I just, you know, clearing out the current spell and leaving the old? Or doing a refresh. There's everything for swiftness. Velocity is gone. There's my T's. Right, so that's all that stuff is. And now I try to apply the stat. And that really just hops right down into temporary stats. This is where I will increase or decrease or do whatever for the stats, including things like temperance. There we go. Let's go back up here. I have a global cooldown, and it's only a half second, I believe. Yeah, it's actually less than that because I believe this is, oh, global cooldown equals 8. Yeah, so this is only for a half second it stays on. To be honest, I like the slower pace and that it looks that it took longer to get into the grimoires. But it's just my opinion, and all the other stuffs are absolutely amazing. See, I get people, like, I get having a slower pace, but when you are playing a magic mod and you're basically tier 2 by the time you get your first grimoire, which sucks, by the way, because it's not even like it's a super powerful spell, that does hurt quite a bit. So my thought was, well, apprentice stuff, right? Tier 1 stuff. Let's make that easier to get into, right? That staff, why have a wand when I could just give you a basic staff? There's no spell haste or anything on it. It will have the basic transmutation, right? Like, it just makes sense. Let me give you a staff, and not make things complex with like, because you know, I had like 17 wands for spell wands. People were only using like ignite and maybe one other, because everything else it was just too weak. It wasn't worth it, you know. But it's like, let's get you in that, let's get you making your first grimoires at a cheaper rate, because the rest of the mod, the rest of this stuff like tier 2 and 3, that's going to be just as long. So, but tier 1, like it helps you get in faster, so maybe you're halfway through tier 1 when you get your first grimoire, instead of basically in tier 2 before you get one. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. So what I need to do is figure out what I can see, what the player still has on them after a reload. I have too many windows open. Get rid of some of these shaders. Let's get rid of this, get rid of that shader, get rid of my proto contract. I'll leave that. I'll keep, you know what, let's get rid of swiftness as well. Get rid of crystallized memories. Yep, get rid of that. Get rid of the particles, the dummy spell effects. Am I there yet? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the armor patch. Okay, now let's go into here. So, re-add listeners. Bum, 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 bum. So I think instead of this, I can put in spell. Now I'm going to reload. And I'm going to put a buff on myself, and then I'm going to see what that buff comes back as. Right? I think it's going to be client side that will see the buff is still on there. I'm hoping it's server as well, because if the server also sees that information, I'm good to go. Then it should be a matter of just connecting a couple of dots. Depending, right? It depends. Let's put swiftness on. Now reload. And we are looking for a couple print statements, and it's going to say like listener. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it is. So currently it says I have no spell, I have swiftness, and I have the old fly spell. But these are all server side. Ooh, okay. That's server then. Okay. Nothing on the client, really? Oh, duh. Let me scroll up to the client. Oh, or scroll down. I gotta scroll down to the client stuff. There we go. So we're gonna put this back on. Isn't it like tomorrow's Star Wars Day? I don't know what it is, but a couple years back, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Now it's like, I don't really care. So the client and the server both see the fact that I had swiftness on. Okay. So now here's the other question that I have. We'll put on a listener too. And for this, I want to do HUD buff list count. How many, well, what do we got going on here? Can you see the buff list? Now the server side of this is going to come up with 0. probably come up with 0. The client side may actually have the buff information, including the amount of seconds that are left. And if that is the case... Oh, I reloaded and totally forgot to reapply the buff. It had already worn off. That's unfortunate. It sees 1. The server sees it too? Get the fuck out. No way. We're gonna reload one more time. If the server also sees it, I may be able to just put the listener back on. Dude. Oh, no way. Thank you, Past Vice. Something going right. It still sees the 1. Still sees the 1. So what if I do something like this? Here, we're just gonna say listener ID here. I want to keep track of that. So we're gonna go in for the attribute keys. I'm gonna see if it contains the particular spell that we would be looking for. And callback code. There we go. I'm gonna copy these. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't need any of that. I'm gonna need this nestled in an if statement at least. And I'm going to say if the count is greater than 0, right? Because that means that I got a spell that I can put on. Right? There's a buff, at least one buff in that list with a duration. And then I can register the callback, and it could be the reset temp stats. The duration is going to be, and I believe buff list is the string and the timer. So for duration, I want to do duration dot values dot. You know, it's not going to be values. I need to... I think I need to do something like this. Put in callback code dot remaining duration. Okay. Okay. And then reset that attribute there. Did that just do it? Let's cast the spell on ourselves. So 165. We're gonna reload. I should still have a walk speed of 165 and what was that, like 43 seconds, 40 seconds up there, whatever it is. Delicious. No! Oh, affected entity was null. Crap, I don't want affected entity. I want entity. This needs to just be entity as well. All right, you know what? Let's just shut down. It can't be this entity. Can't be that. So let's just look at entity. Let me actually read this entity. That's registered callback. And then instead of that, it's going to be callback. There we go. Callback code right here. And then put the ID, the callback ID. This may do it. May the 4th be with you, and also with you, Oder. Do you celebrate? You know, the other problem is, like, I want to celebrate with, like, playing a Star Wars game. I don't think there are any Star Wars games that I really care for. I was looking, I'm like, you know, there's, like, the newer ones that came out, and I'm like, I'm not really into, like, the platformers, you know? Like, I'm not really into that. I mean, it's above, like, racing games, but, you know. Okay. Let's cast the buff on ourselves. Right? So we'll have about 40 seconds. Run speed of 165. Ooh, that doesn't look good. The given key no spell was not present in the dictionary. Oh, it's trying... That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to... Okay, so I need to go back into here. Right? And I need to specifically say... If spell equals spell names dot no spell to string, right? So if it equals no spell, I want to get rid of it, right? We'll just do return. Or you know what, better yet, I'll cut this out and paste this in. So if it doesn't equal no spell. Try again. Build. Close that out. So I should be able to hop back in and everything should be fine. So I see swiftness and fly still, right? Those are still in there. So let's make sure the regular buff works. We'll wait 40 seconds and I'll let it fall off. And then we'll do a reload and I want to see if it's still in that list. So about 30 more seconds. This is going to be a game changer. This means that you could get buffed up, log out, and then hop back in the morning and keep all of your buffs. Even if your buddies are not around to buff you. That also means if you buy scrolls and stuff, you don't have to worry about, you know, disconnects even, right? If you disconnect from a server, you know, that all your buffs go away then too. There we go. So it went back to 90. So that worked perfectly fine. Your speed fades. Now, what happens? 165, 41 seconds up there, right? Ooh. What did it not like? The given key no spell was not present in the dictionary. It still is trying no spell? Re-add all listeners. So in here... what line was that? 1176. Oh, jeez, I'm dumb. So I put this in here. This was only for the server. We have to go down to the client side. There we go, and put it in here. What you do for one, you must do for the other. Celebrate, not really? Yeah. Wonder when ViesCraft is coming out as like a full thing. I'd be down to play that. Actually, I think I'd be down to actually play some Vintage Story in a real server. Okay. Reload. Damn it. Still there, huh? The given key fly 1 was not present in the dictionary. I see what it's trying to do. Wait a minute. It totally just do this. If... Right? I can get this, right? So that dictionary has something, and then I can come into here and say, if this contains the key, callback code. So if it contains the key, then try and take something. It's trying to pull... Yeah. I know what I did wrong. You don't have to... Fucking close it out. Jesus Christ. I know, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We won't be able to move forward if you can't get past this. I guess I don't need those then. In here, I don't need this either. I could cut this back out. Reset this to how it was. Same thing with this. I could cut this out. Paste that in. Let's go back into here. So listener code, I actually don't need that at all. Not doing anything with a listener code. Beautiful. There we go. Because all I care about is just the entity and... Yeah, they were doing stress tests yesterday. The thing is, like, their stuff comes, like, out of nowhere. It's like, by the way, for 4 hours, the server's gonna be on. It's like, gotta give me a little more time than that. Yeah, and they rebranded. Honestly, I can't remember the name for the life of me. To me, it's always gonna be ViesCraft, and that's what I will go to the grave saying, because it's a cool name. Yeah, I think it starts with an A, like Alduin, or I don't know. Not Alduin. Something Al, A-L-L. I can't remember. Lord Noob Chris, thank you for the follow. All right, let's see if we can do this now. I cast the buff. I got swiftness for another 43 seconds, give or take a second. Come on, baby. Put that sweet buff back on me. Come on, baby. All right, I got 40 seconds. The great news is it didn't crash. It didn't crash. So we will know this works because when this timer expires, my walk speed should go back down to 90%. Please tick back down. Come on, bro. Well, we got some good news here. The good news is it did indeed tick back down. The bad news is that apparently affected list is null. Because it would be removing the stats, every stat, the keys in the list. So I think instead of just putting this tick listener back on, I may need to some degree recast the spell with the new duration. Oh man, does that mean I have to change how spells work now? Hey Vice, your new version is awesome, but there are a few bugs, isn't there? There are always a few bugs. I'm a single developer working on a big mod. There are a lot of buffs. There are a lot of issues. Some spells don't give buffs, or certain spells are not craftable in scrolls in the Magitrix. Well, the Magitrix had a problem. We already fixed that earlier in the stream. And that's because the client and the server are seeing two different times for completion for 15 seconds. There's some time drift there. That's been fixed. That'll be in the next update. Some spells not giving their buffs. What are the spells not giving buffs? I've been buffing myself up here. Been working fine for me. Oh, perfect. Thanks for the quick fixes. Yeah, there was something with combat overhaul. My patches weren't working. I never use combat overhaul, so I'm not going to test for mods I don't use. What we're trying to do right now is make it to where you could log out and log back in and keep the buffs that you had on. That's the main goal here. I don't think I could do it this way. So all right, let's take a look at the swiftness spell. I may have to cast the swiftness spell. This affects. Where's my swiftness spell? Oh, geez. Did I close it out? I probably did. There it is. There we go. It's always been open. I do have problems with fly and plunder, for example. I just had the fly buff on. That was the first spell that I tested with. I don't know. If it's multiplayer server, I mean, it's something I could test later. There are some things that if multiplayer servers get a little murky. If they really try and lock down to where you can't have any flight, unless you're like admin, if they get into like the granularity of stuff like that, then my fly spell's not going to work because it is registered as like flight, right? And the server itself would be stopping it. But I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Plunder not working? That's weird. Now, how do you know it's not working? Do you see like the buff in your effects list still? And then it's just not doing it? Or does the buff disappear from the effects list and it just wears off too fast? Because there's another thing too. I did a lot of spell moving around. Like I shifted a lot of spell stuff around. So what you may have to do is if a grimoire was already in your sanctum, just pick it up and then put it back in. So I don't send refresh packets when you log in because that's a lot of overhead. or you know, I don't send any keep alive packets, because again, that could be a lot of overhead going to like all the players in an area, everyone getting their grimoire, like the spell stats for what they have in their grimoire. That those packets only get sent out when a slot changes, when you take a book out or put a book back in. It resends a refresh packet. So you could try that as well. Every once in a while, like if the spells change too drastically, it holds the old stats for the stuff, and then when it tries to apply it, it's not applying things right. Some of the spells, like fly, the registry name of that changed. I don't know how far back it changed, but it did change. It used to just be fly. Now it's fly 1, because I may end up making a tier 4, and I didn't want to box myself in and have like all my tier 3 spells not have like a 1 modifier at the end. So for that spell, you would try to cast fly, for instance, but you had the old stats saved with the old registry name, so you would go to cast the spell and it wouldn't do anything, and you wouldn't see anything because it was still fly 1, which no longer exists in the dictionary. So you had to pull the grimoire out and then put it back in, and then you got the updated information for the cast time, mana cost, and most importantly, the registry name. Okay, awesome. That did the fix. Yeah! So the package problem was a thing. What package problem? There's another package? I need to I have to figure this out. I think I know how to do this. I'm mulling it over. So let's go back into here. Let's go back in. And what I will do is say, okay, let's get rid of this. I'm going to look at the global dictionary. I should have it created at this point, right? So let's do Rustbound Magic dot full spell dictionary. And I'm going to look specifically for callback code dot, and then we're going to see about putting on cast stop. Seconds used, you know what? I'm just going to put 5F. That really doesn't matter. The item slot. Ooh. Take a look at swiftness. Does that use item slot at all? I don't think any of my buffs use slot. So I think I can put in... You know what I'm going to put in? Item... I know exactly what to do. We can put in entity. I could do entity as entity player. Oh, you know what? Better yet, let's not do this. I'm going to do a further check right down here. So instead of entity, it will be entity player. And I will update this and say player in. So it conforms. Yeah, if you find anything else, Lord Noob, I mean, I definitely need to, you know, it helps when someone tells me, like, it's just exactly this. I think someone, you know, it may have been something you had sent, maybe, where it was like the fly spell wasn't working. And the first thing I thought was I messed with a lot of spells. I had to add a lot of parameters. I expanded really greatly what a spell even is. So I was thinking in my head, like, I bet the grimoire has to be picked up and then put back down to resend that packet. Like, I'm betting you. I'm betting. We will look at the hand, the right hand. We're going to put player in. Block selection. just put null. Entity selection, null. Spell scroll, false. False, and false. This may do it. Oh man, let's hope. Let's hope. Build. Where's my... Oh, I pushed it down here. I was gonna say, why didn't it say successful? Where'd it go? Yeah, after I emptied my Sanctum and put the Grims back in, all the spells did work. Awesome. Yeah, every once in a while, it is something like if I do drastic changes on spells, it's something I forget to do it myself. And there have been times when that got me, where I'm like, I broke all the spells. No, I just had to pick it up and pop it back in, and we're good to go. It gets me too. But I do things like that because this game is not optimized to begin with, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't want to send, like, keep alive packets, because it's a lot of data that gets synchronized. 165. This update, too, like, if people had the rubber banding, like the old rubber banding, because their settings were too close to the edge, this, I completely redesigned all the heads-up display stuff. It's like an on-needed kind of call basis now. So... I bet it did it. I have particle effects at my feet. Dude, did we just do it? Did we just do it? I think we just did it. Oh, snap. Swiftness. Come on, swiftness. It needs to, at the end of this, walk speed needs to go back down to 90%. Come on. Just do it. No! Wait a minute, it did it! It was just off a little bit. Oh shit, that was like a 3-second delay. Why would that be a 3-second delay? I think I know what's going on. And I think I know how to fix it. So I'm thinking the start server and the start client are two totally different, they may fire at slightly different rates, which is fine. What I can do here, I'm gonna copy this. For now, I'm gonna comment out all of that old code from here. And this is on player joined event. And then same thing here on the client side. And I'm actually going to put this stuff into the assets finalize. Or you know what? Not assets finalize. There's something in particular here. I got to remember what it is. Should load, event player, event join. I'm going to paste this back in. There we go. Paste that back in. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to find something where it calls both at the same time. I thought it was just like... What would it be? It's not going to be start. I got pre-start and then I got start. We're gonna have to go fishing. I may not have it extended here. Oh, you know what? I could just do assets finalize. I think I'll do that. Because that happens like at the end. So by then, your spell list should be, the global spell dictionary should be re-registered. Like we should be good to go to start manipulating things. So right in here, I'm going to compile everything. I'm going to put it like right at the end. Right here. I'm going to need something else up here. So when a player joins, I'm going to need to run this event. Paste that in. Cut this out. Paste that in there. Okay, so API event. I'm going to need two separate things here. But we have API. So I think CAPI and SAPI should be good to go by the time you get down here, right? So CAPI, client player. And then this would be SAPI. And this would be, instead of client, this would be all the server side stuff. Let's just come up here to server. Copy all of this. Right, because I want them to fire kind of at the same time. Do the client first and then refresh it with the server coming in. Get rid of that. Cut and paste. That would be SAPI. Delete that. And then this would be CAPI. This dot. Oh, I don't have a variable for SAPI? Weird. I thought I did. We don't. Well, we're making one. SAPI core server. Then up here, I'm going to do SAPI equals API, so it's not null. Then by the time we get down here, I need to put that back in. This would be client. Okay, so let's try and read this through. Client event starts. Here, let's just shut down. By the way, I really appreciate your mod. It's sure. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
One of them fine. I just want you to take part then.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Nice. Yeah, a piece of a chocolate chip cookie. By the way, I really appreciate your mod. It's awesome, and you're doing great work. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It is nice hearing the compliment instead of everything that's wrong. So it is nice. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And there's still a lot more fun stuff to come. I have the whole summoning system that still needs to get put in. Boop. So that's going to be fun. I set up everything so I can have channeling based spells. So things like drain life, poison, shooting out rays and stuff. Any of those channeling based kind of spells. I have more conjuration summoning spells that I want to add in because I can summon like temporary suits of armor and a lot of other stuff. There's just a lot to be done. I want to put in the bosses, and I want to put in the wyvern as well. So and make it mountable, so you can have a fly, a mountable wyvern. I like to say wyvern, but I hear a lot more people saying wyvern. But there's still a lot to be done here. A lot of new spells to add to, just of other kinds. Like I made some notes that I just didn't have time to put in. I need to make ultimate spells, like Cataclysm. That's gonna hit like a truck. more healing spells, more ways to, you know, just more ways to interact. It's gonna be fun. I want like a summon corpse spell where like you see like the bones on the ground, and then you can like, you know, cast summon corpse on it, and you can create like a skeletal summon to like follow you around, and maybe give them a sword, something that you could summon yourself, and then like hand them the sword. It's gonna be so good. So good. do like a druid version of it where it's like you could do it on a sapling and turn it into a tree ant. It's gonna be fun. I'm terrible with well, I'm not, I can't say that I'm terrible with models. It takes me a long time to do anything with the models, like with modeling. So I'm gonna have to, I think I have a skeleton already chalked up. I want to make like necromancer robes and, you know, more staves too. More armor types as well. I just added all of the like belts, necklaces, that type of armor. So I want to expand on that system too. A lot of neat things. I want to make more elementals. I want to make an elemental that I know everyone's gonna hate. I loved playing Lycanites mobs where you would be mining coal or something, and all of a sudden there'd be like a light explosion, and then like an elemental comes out pissed trying to attack you, and you were hit with the weighted debuff so you couldn't jump. I want to make a weighted debuff, and I want to do something like that too, where it's like, if it's gonna be just like a surprise kind of thing that it would rarely happen, but I think that would be really awesome. And then if you kill it, and then you get bonus loot, right? A little mini loot pinata. I know a lot of people would hate that though. I tried to put in like the Ravager, my version of a creeper. People did not like it. People still don't like it. They're like, it makes no sound. I'm like, it makes sound when it starts to detonate. You just gotta listen for the tss. Open up them ears. By the way, did you remove the rift summon spell? The rift summon spell? I never had a spell to open a rift, but I do have a ritual that opens a rift, and you can use the Rift Weaver as well. So you can create the item at tier 2 mage. Being a tier 2 mage, you can either create the sensor item that will shoot out the AoE to close rifts around you to drop rift charges, and you can also use the cleansing light spell that you could find at tier 2 as well. And you can close out rifts, get rift charges, and then put those charges in a Rift Weaver, and then you can conjure a rift anytime you want from anywhere. Oh, there was no spell for rift summon. Nope. There was an admin tool for it as well, but I did make it to where you do have ways of opening a rift. You kind of my mod uses rifts as a resource when you're a tier 2 mage. It's pretty neat. This looks right to me. This looks like it's gonna work. Oh boy. Oh boy. You know what I need to do? No, I don't. I don't need to refresh anything. Yeah, no, I should be good. I should be good. I don't know what I was thinking. I should be good. Oh, I do need to, I need to do one more thing. It's a safety check. So let's go in here. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to make another if. I'm going to put this in because I want to make sure that the spell dictionary, before you try to cast a spell, because what if I take a spell out of the game, right? And it's no longer there, but you happen to try and like log back in when that buff doesn't exist and it's trying to put the buff back on you, it would result in a crash. So this is another safety check that says, okay, in your buffs list, is this a valid spell? Is it in the global dictionary? Right? That's the second check. Like, is this really still a spell? And then if it is, it could safely cast the spell back on you. Because that's really all this is doing. I don't need this anymore. And I don't need any of this anymore. Start cleaning some of this stuff up. Get rid of that. Okay. I think this will do it. Let's rebuild. So with this, oh man, this is a game changer. All of your buffs will just stay on if you log out. This is a good cookie. Chocolate chip. No! What's it doing? Oh, this is null? Why is this null? What if I call bullshit? What if I don't like what you're saying to me? Oh, what am I doing with this? Why am I using this CAPI? I know what I could do. Because I have CAPI, I could do this as core client API. Because I already have API right there. Because that's the only time I need to even do anything in that. And then this one would be as iCore server API. Build. It doesn't like it? All right, core. Let's see here. Event. Oh, event is not happy. So that threw an exception. You know what? It is kind of getting to it too fast. Wait, I may have to cut this out. Maybe finalized assets isn't the place I thought it was. Let's take a look at what else we have available to us. I think I want something that's like post. So we got should load, execute order, start pre, and then start. Called on the server or the client. Implementing code may need to check with this which side it's on. On server, called only after all mods have been received on start. And after JSON, oh, okay, that's not what I want. Oh wait, that's assets loaded, assets finalized. A call on the server, all on-block methods are met, already has been called. This is for any final asset setup steps to be done after that. Okay, start client side. Full start of the mod on the client side. Note in multiplayer games, the server assets, blocks, items, entities, registries have not yet been received, and so no blocks, etc. are registered. Okay. And there's server side. You know what? Maybe it is just on start. Let me try to put. You know what it is? I'm gonna try and put it in start. We'll try that. I'll put it at the very end of start, after it generates its list. Right down here. Let's try and nestle it in there. You know, it may forever be just like about 3 seconds off, because it depends on when the client and the server are actually both coming online here. Oh yeah, see, it's definitely not happy. All right, so I'll put them back where they were. It seems like they were happiest there. There we go. Which one's this server side? So let's just cut this out. This is all I need. And we'll paste that in. And then for client side, wonder if I could send like a follow-up synchronization packet too. Wonder if that would solve the problem. Do like a broadcast. That way the seconds match the server, like the client and the server match. Boop. There we go. All gone. Never happened. Build. Watch, it still crashes because it's like something else. Oh, so far no crash. It's a good sign when it doesn't blow up. All right. So let's cast a spell. I got 45 seconds. You know what? Let me take my elemental attunement off. Let's get it down to 30 seconds. For the next cast, right? It already has the bonuses put in. Now I'm going to let this run its course. Let's make sure that the regular spell still works. I got to make that necromancer armor. Oh, I got to make holiday helmets too. I think next holiday is maybe Memorial Day, but I'm not going to do anything for that. I think it's like in the US, it's going to be 4th of July is the next holiday we have. Oh, when it does that, yeah.
Other door, but I can't get it to push back.
Oh boy, there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it goes on.
Minus the minus, plus the plus. Let me put it on.
Yep.
My pleasure. So the buff did wear off, and so did my walk speed. All right, let's put it back on. Let's make sure. 30 seconds. Let's wait. Let's see if right at the 30-second mark the spell does it anyways. I don't think I've ever really checked for this. It just always fell off, so I'm like, oh, you know. And I think it's close. It's not exact. The synchronization needed to make it like exact, everyone would lag out. Come on. Yep, boom, right away. All right, so let's cast a spell again. So we're up to 140. This time, we're gonna reload. I logged out and logged back in. Oh no. That's a pretty good cookie. I should say it was a good quarter of a cookie. We still got the buff rolling. Got it there. We'll see how many seconds it's off. I think being a couple seconds off is completely acceptable, considering how you get to keep your buff. Three, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. So it was 1 second off. That's no big deal. You know what I could do? You know how we could synchronize this a little further? I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it right now. Right on here now. Contains keys. Callback keys. Stop cast. 5 seconds. Wait, where am I doing this again? Hold on, try. So the count is there. Buff list contains the key. Why don't I see Weird. I do not see the duration. How am I getting my duration? Callback code on cast stop. Player right hand, player. Right? Like how does this is scary. How does this know that I have a buff on here? I'm recasting a spell, but you would think that the swiftness spell, it's getting my duration. Worries me that this is filling in one too many blanks here. kind of worrying me a bit. Okay, what happens if... Let me try this. All right, I got the buff. We're gonna save log out, and I'm gonna do a full shutdown. I think there's some client server sharing magic going on right now. And when you don't fully shut down, that's how it may be preserving these spells. Which means that everything we did thus far is not good enough. Yeah, keeping the buff is more important than plus minus 5 seconds, to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's just, there are some things that are connected here that I thought I would have to do like manual connections for. Oh! And what do we have here? No buff. So that buff list is only preserved because you didn't shut down your client. That's a problem. That sucks. That sucks. 26, 25. I'm gonna let this tick down to like 15 and then reload. I mean, this, honestly, this isn't too bad. It's a step in the right direction, so if you get kicked out of a server because of latency or something, as long as you don't shut down your client as it sits right now, you'll keep your buffs when you log back in. That's not bad. That's good stuff. But as soon as your client shuts down, your buffs are gone. So I'm going to have to find a way to preserve that. Maybe. Look at that. It did not tick down. See that? It's almost like the okay, now it went down. That was a huge delay. I was like, what, a good like 5-8 seconds, like in between there, 5 to 8 seconds. But it did eventually tick back down. I don't like this. I don't like this system. First thing we're gonna have to solve, first thing we gotta fix is, how do I preserve the spell data on the player? I think maybe I could do something where I parse everything out, like I do a string array. I could do a string array. I can call it. Okay, I can make a string array, and I can say the first part would be the registry name. I can put a dash in there as a divider, and then I can get the second part, which will be it would be a string, but I can put the amount of seconds that are left on it. And then I mean, I would have to put something into where when the buff is cast on you, it writes that information to this new string array. Is there a way that I could just like save the the buff list that I already have? Where is it? Where is it? In here. This right here, this buff list, this dictionary. Can I save? Can I save a dictionary to the player? That's an idea. Am I able to do this? So what if I do entity dot watched attributes dot set? So I have I attribute, set attribute, we have bools. I mean, we have potentially bytes. I'm not that good with like serializing and deserializing things though. But that's a possibility. Doubles out, float is out, ints are out, item stacks are out. Longs are out. String, that one's kind of out. The string array. I mean, the string array may be the closest thing because I can have the key be the spell name, and then the string, the value, could just be like the time and seconds. Although I would have to change what a spell is, put another part in the method to take in seconds, and I can maybe default it to 0 everywhere else. And then if that number for the duration is set, like I could prioritize using that number for the duration to pump it into the spell. I think that's going to be the best option. Because I don't really see anything else here. And I don't need the whole dictionary. I just need 2 bits out of the, like, 6 bits of information. So I think string array is going to be our thing. It's going to be the thing. Let's store this in magic knowledge. So right down here, I'm going to create a new key. We create it right at the bottom here. We'll leave 3 spaces so it's all kind of spread out. This is going to be I'll say like buff list and duration from last logout. Copy and paste and where was I just typing? Here we go. Magic knowledge. I'm gonna copy that. Player watched attributes. All right, it's gonna be player watched attributes, and this string, it's gonna be a string array. Buff list and duration from last logout. I think that sounds pretty good. So it will be buff list, whoops. Buff list and duration from last logout. And I'll put an underscore there. Buff list and duration from last logout. So that's going to be our constant. This will be the key that we save this array to. Next thing we are going to want to do is come on down. We are going to create a little little set here. This is going to be buff list and duration from last logout. Copy. That's what this is going to be called for the array. Paste and paste. All right, so now that we have that set up, I'm going to come all the way down here. We are going to... We're going to set this so it's not null. On the first time you ever log in, we will set this. Buff list and duration from last logout. So it's going to be an empty string, but it's not going to be null. If you don't have the attribute, we will add the attribute for you, so we initialize it. Now this data should be saved. What we are going to have to do... We're going to have a listener registered at logout, at player logout. Copy, paste. Player leave, right? Or so when a player intentionally leaves, I think player disconnect. Called whenever a player disconnects, timeout, leave, disconnect, kick. Okay, so we will say disconnect. I'm going to get rid of those behaviors. I'm going to keep this because we may actually make something and keep it in here to reapply. So instead of re-add listeners, let's copy and paste this. Wait a little space. So instead of re-add all listeners, it will be I'll say like save all listeners. Go. So I'm going to take a look at everything in your keys. And if your keys contain the spell that I care about, this is where everything will change here. So what I'm going to have to say is all right, I could do player in dot watched attributes dot set string array, and then I can say string array. So I'm going to have a key and a value here. So I think I will need this buff counter again. So I have to make sure that there are even buffs worth saving. Cut this out and paste this in. And now what I can say is this buff list. Oh, I gotta do one more thing here. Cut. We need another if. and it's going to be this one because I have to make sure that the spell that we care about is indeed in that list. That the list is something, and what we need in the list is what we care about, what we want. Now, I should be able to come down to here, right? Buff list, and then I can do .key. Or maybe not. ID. Okay, I want ID. And then I want the time. So it's going to be the same information here. And this time I want remaining duration. And the remaining duration, because this is a string array. Oh, wait a minute. No. I got to do this a little different. Okay. Let's cut this out. We'll do plus. This is what we want, and then in here it's going to be RMR references dot buff player watch attribute buff lift and list and duration from last logout, and then this will be the array, and I can say new string array. And we're going to put this information in. So it's going to read like swiftness 1 dash 22. All right. So that tells me what the buff is, the ID of the buff, and what that remaining time is. I really hope this fires correctly. How can does this fire before? New subscriber, hey, Lord Noob, thank you for the prime. I appreciate it. I have a fear right now. My fear is that this runs before the player, this runs after the player has already logged out, so I can't save data to the player. That's my fear. I'm not sure if it's real, but it is a fear. I'm really hoping this isn't working that way. I'm really hoping. You deserve the sub. Thank you. I really appreciate the support. Love it. Right, so oh, I can't do this. I can't do a new string. What I can do is I can add to the string. Okay, watch this magic here. Hold my beer. So we are going to get the string array. If there is no string array, we'll do new string, right? So I will default it here as well, just in case. And then in here I can do, what is it, concat? I think is what I want. I think it's concat, right? Is that it? Let's take a look at my code. Find all. Yeah, because I'm doing it here. And basically that just like adds everything together. That's all this is doing. Yeah, see, it's putting that in, and then late initialize string concat new string, and it's gonna piece all that stuff together. So in here, I am going to want this cut and paste. I think this is what I want. All right, so we're setting the string. We're going to get the current string as a default. See, it's not liking this here. Avoid unnecessary zero-length array allocations. Use... Okay, it wants me to use array.empty string instead, right? So it wants array.empty string. So this... Oops. I believe this is what it wants instead. Wrong. String array does not contain a definition for concat. Oh. And the best extension method overload. Ooh. Okay. All right, so concat's out. Wait a minute, it's right there. What are you talking about? Oh, wait a minute. Does it want this? You want to know specifically it's a string? Nope. Shit. Get string array. It's trying. It's trying. But see, the thing is, it does have a definition for it. It's literally right here. It's that right there. It's there. It's there, you just don't know it. That's okay though. Let's see what else we have. Can I just do add? No, there's no add. How do I work with this? I'm doing this somewhere else in my code. I think it's old, but it's somewhere else in here. Find all. So I'm just getting the arrays here. I'm not manipulating any arrays there. That's the spell tool. I'm doing a lot of this with my my achievement system. So let's find that. Here we go. Meditation insight. Oh, that's just getting the array. Keys.toArray. Do I have to convert this? Is that how I did it before? I have to like convert it? So I create a new string array called spells. Nope, see, that's just me getting... Okay, wait, temp list. And then I create a temp list, I create it to list. Okay, I think maybe that's what I have to do then. String temp list to array. I turn it back into an array. So I have to do a flip-flop here for this to work. Okay. Let's move this over here. So first thing we are gonna have to do is create a... We're gonna have to create a couple things here. We'll create a temporary list. Right here. I'm going to create another variable. Right, oops, right up top here. I'll say buff list. This will be a new string array that is empty. And then I'm going to take that buff list and then I'm going to transform it to the temp list. And then I can do temp list.add, right? And then this would be... where this information right here, right? The spell name and the buff duration. So I can add that as an entry in the list. And then all this becomes a lot easier to deal with. Then what I have to do, I think I need to reconvert that back into an array, right? So I can take temp list and then .to array. There we go. Oh, and I gotta close the parentheses. So basically, the way we have to manipulate this is I can create a new empty string, because each time you log out, I want a snapshot of whatever your current stuff is. I don't care if there was anything else ever in there. It's just going to be empty sitting there anyways, right? So you log out, I create the actual buff list in the format that is this format, the string array. That way we could save it right away. I convert that into a temporary list because string array, right? I can add things to a list. And then what I would do is add the buff. I think what I also need to do is say plus, and then let's put a comma in there, right? So it's going to read swiftness 1 dash, and then the time remaining in seconds with a comma. Because remember, I'm gonna if you have 2 buffs on, I need a separator at the end of a buff, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna parse out this string and I'm gonna say, okay, go until you see a dash, right? And then you take those characters and then make that a variable, right? Because that's gonna be the spell name. And then after that, right, starting from the next character, until you see a comma, that's going to be a number, right? So that it's technically going to be a string of like 2 in string format, and then I can put that through like the integer code to convert that string into an int, right? So then it knows the number 22, and then I can set that as a variable, and then I can run the buff, right? And then for the next part of the string, I can create the, I can recreate the variable, right? And I can just go down the list and then reapply those buffs all from here. And then at the end, I'm just going to make this null anyways, so it doesn't matter saving it or not. Yeah, buddy! One thing we will want to do, just to make sure everything is correct, we are going to mark this particular path dirty, which means it's going to save client to server. There we go. So I'm going to save the list, and I'm going to make sure that that both client and server know that is correct, just to verify, right? Just to make sure. There we go. That's that complexity. So I should be creating a list when I log out. Oh, and I have to add this particular thing. Right, on player disconnect. Let's clean it up. Copy. This is iServer. Let's scroll down to client. Because I also have to do this on the client. Wait a minute. If I mark it dirty, all it has to do is run on the server, ideally. But I'll run it on the client too. Why not? Who cares? You're logging out anyways. What's one last little hoorah? Client. Oh, player disconnect, though. I don't think I have player disconnect event. Left world? When a player left the world to go back to the main menu, maybe that it? Leave world, when a player wants to leave the world to go back. Ooh, I hate that they have 2 separate things there. It's like, which one? Entity spawn, load, pause, resume, player death, dimension change. Player join, player leave. Okay, maybe it's player leave. This is some of the stuff that irks me. right? Why not in both client and server? Why not have it be the same name? Call it player disconnect on both, right? Not player leave on one and player disconnect on the other. Kills me. Player leave. Because player joins the same on both. But it's player disconnect here, right? That's your leave, your timeout, unless there is a player leave over here. Okay, there is a player leave, but that's when a player intentionally leaves. See, it's different here. That's different here. You want player disconnect here, and then over here, this is when a player disconnects, right? It's just called player leave. Oh, man. Eesh. All right. I guess so. Client. iClient player dot entity is player. Yeah, so this should be good. I may not even need the client side because marking it dirty should do the job. For now, I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to put a note here. May be able to delete when I get this working. There we go. Just a little note. Note to self. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Oop. Same thing here. Clean it up a little bit. Save. All right. So that's creating a list when you leave. Now going back in, I need to do something with said list. So let's do this. Let's do this. I can delete all that. So in here, re-add listeners. So I don't care about the buff list or anything else right now. What I care about is your player watched attribute keys. I don't even care about the watched attribute keys. So I'm thinking in here, instead of spell, I'm going to want RMR references dot buff list. That right there. I want that. And then we come down into here, right? And I can say, because at that point this would be true, right? Because you would contain that key for the array. And then I can make a variable out of that array. And I can do new string array if there is nothing there, just so it's not null. That way it equals something. And I can say buff, or this would be a string array. Oops. String array, we'll call it buff list. String array string, there we go. And this needs to be get string array, right? And now what I need to do is say, I'll do a safety check here, because if this list, there it goes, if this array dot length is greater than 0, continue. Now this is where it's going to get confusing, because now we got to take this apart a little bit. I'm going to have to create... I'm going to have to loop through things, I think. How would you do this? How would you do this? I know what I could do. I could create a... I believe I could create another list. Let's do a list. And I think I can put in like string and int. This will be temp list equals buff list dot... Oh, you know what? This will have to be a new list. New list string int. Oh, it's probably not. You know what? Let's do iDictionary. I'll just make a dictionary. iDictionary, and there'll be a new dictionary. There we go. So I'm gonna create this, right? I'm gonna create this out. And then if there is something in here, this is where I'm gonna have to like parse it out a little bit. And then down here, I already know. Oop. I already know I'm gonna have to take a look at this list and get the count and see if that count, like, because I need to do a safety check to make sure that everything did go through. There's at least something there to look at. And now this is where I could copy this, paste this in. We can get rid of this because it's not needed anymore. Instead of looking at like callback code, I can just look at temp list. And I can say, hey, does in that particular key, does it contain, oops, not keys, I want a single key. I may have to loop through this stuff. All right, let's create a loop. I'll say for each. Let's do that. For each, I will say dictionary buff in temp list. Cannot convert type generic key value pair string int to system collections generic. Is it just dictionary? Crap, I gotta figure this part out. Not dictionary. Crap, how do I do this again? How do I do this again? You know what? I'm doing this in my gateway system. I had to figure all this stuff out. Let's pull up gateways. Because I had to do some very clever, yeah, key value pair in... and then that information. Okay, this is what I think I need to do. So I can do key value pair string int. There we go. So I create a key value pair with the string, which is going to be the key, and the int, which is going to be the time. I'll call it buff in the temp list that I just made. All right, now I can cut this out. We'll put this in here. So now I can look at the, instead of the buff list, I don't care about that at all. Buff list doesn't matter. So we can just go right to this. So now I can say if the buff, right, buff dot key. So if swiftness 1 exists as a spell, then I can put it back in here, right? We could do buff dot key. So I want to cast from that spell. And then over here at the end, this is probably where I would put buff dot value, which means cast time stop will have to change globally, which is going to suck. this is going to be a sweeping change, which would be an int. I'm almost done.
I'll leave my thoughts for that.
Oh, what are your thoughts?
Okay. I got
Oh.
those bad music.
Okay, yeah, I can do
Okay.
that. Yeah. I guess I'm making a chicken or shrimp stir fry. All right. All right. So what was I doing? It was gonna be as an int, right? Yeah, int. And I'll say I'll say log out time in. I'll say, or I could say duration left after logout. That's what it is. Unfortunately, you will all see what kind of things I have to do here. This is going to be a change here. Let's just stop the game. It's already really upset with what I did. So just by changing that, you want to see how many errors we're gonna have? And this isn't even all of them. Oh wait, I gotta go up the tree one more. Spell base, right? Because now this changed, so on stop needs that. And let's rebuild. There we go. 507 errors. 507. So basically, I'm going to have to go into here. Most spells, I just have to do that. I don't ever have to use it in a lot of the spells because every spell has this as a parameter. Right? So that's no big deal. Let's go further down, right? So that right there did all arrow blasts. So what I normally do off stream is I will put on like YouTube or something. Now that all of my music is kind of moved over to YouTube, like, and it's not, I can't even say moved over. Like I used to have like a hybrid thing where some of my music was living on the computer, and then I had YouTube up on the other side, you know, just kind of playing stuff. So I finally, you know, just searched on YouTube for like all the songs that I would normally play. So now I got my little private playlist on YouTube. Someone had asked me like, "Hey, what's your playlist on YouTube?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, this lives on these songs you're hearing now live on my computer. I can't share that with you." But it's helped out a lot. It's one of those things where I just needed like 10 minutes of time. Get it done. So some of this stuff, like if I go into the butcher spell, see, I'm gonna have to put something in like this, and then at the bottom here, I'm gonna have to say like if, right, and then I'm gonna have to do the duration after login does not equal. Or you know what? If it's greater than 0, then redo the duration calculation to be that, right? So when it recasts the buff, it's not going to do 45 minutes or 2 hours or whatever the original buff is, because then you could just log out and log back in fast and refresh all your buffs, right? I'm going to get that snapshot of time that's left over that we parse out and then put it back into spells. So if it is only 22 seconds left, it will reapply at this time for 22 seconds. So you're not going to be gypped. But this is going to be the gold standard on how I have to do it. But I got to do this another 501 times. Fucking 501. This is brutal. This is why it takes a while, honestly. It's right here. And there's something where like item. Oh, I forgot I have a levitate spell that I wanted to make. All these spells, I want to put life tap back in. There's life tap. Here we go. So in here for the spellcasting tool, this one's easy. I can just put in 0. You know what sucks even more? Going through something like this and then realizing that I need a float instead of an int or something like that. This is not the case, but that's happened to me a couple times where it's like, oh, I needed a different point of data, so I have to go back through all like 500 things. and this is how many technically how many spells I have in the mod. Kinda. Well, actually, it's not 500. Take that, add maybe 10, and then divide it by half. So I got a little over 250 spells in the game. Because right now it's doing a double error. Because it sees that barrier itself is not valid for spell base because it's missing. And then this is the actual like missing part here. So yeah. This is gonna be a journey. Yeah, but the STRG plus F is your friend here. Yes and no. I need to manually go through this. It's better if I do, because some of the spells, like Aqua Burst. Aqua Burst is absolutely something where I could just, whoops, not do that. I could, where, what spell was it? It's not that one, it's not that one. I move it over here. It's not the Spell Forge. It's not that. Where was the where was the spell? Where was it? What's going on here? It's doing it all alphabetically. I think I just removed it. Oh man, I deleted it out. I want to keep everything consistent, but there are some spells that are considered buffs. They need the additional logic in there to do an overwrite on the duration. So I gotta make sure I tag all of those, and I think the way to not miss any, because I'd hate to do it and be like, you know, someone a couple days later, oh hey, swiftness doesn't stick like the other buffs, and it's like, oh, I forgot to put in the extra code for that particular version, like tier 2 swiftness or something. So even though this is a slog, and I could probably do like a string kind of like search and replace, find everything that is this and search and replace it, like this particular instance probably would be better to like go in, and because I got to look at the code too, because not all buffs are created the same. Some of them don't really have durations. So I gotta make sure, like, if it's using the specialty duration modifier for like your attunement and like your buff stats and everything, I have to make sure that I'm cutting that off, right? Like I don't want you to like log out and log back in, and instead of 5 minutes you're back up to like 25, right? Because it added like the difference or something weird. What buff did I just fix? It wasn't agility. You know, I'll just copy Aeroblast. I could go to GitHub. Right? So this is what I was looking for. See, things like Aqua Burst 1, 2, and 3, those are going to be no problem at all. But something like you know, it bugs me. Where was that? Where's that buff? It wasn't anything in alteration. Let me save all. Oh, it wasn't anything in alteration. Incantation, no. Was it a tier 2 spell? Butcher was the spell, right? So this particular thing, right, I had to add this extra bit or else it would have just refreshed your buff. Honestly, you could have cast the buff and then put your attunement core on, or load up on rings or necklaces and stuff that increase the duration, and then you could have logged out and then logged back in, and it would have increased your duration modifier, so you could have turned your 30-minute buff into like a 2-hour plus buff. If I don't put something in here to like negate it, right, to do the hard reset. What's your... So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But you know what? If I have to go through everything anyways, I mean, why don't I... This would be good practice. Let's pull up excavation. Right, because I can do this. And then I can say replace in files. We're going to match case. We're going to match everything. And I'm going to replace it, copy, with it. I mean, I got to look through everything anyways. So I'm just going to save myself a couple strokes, right? I just have to make damn sure I go through everything. Match whole word. Replace, and look in my entire solution. So that's finding everything. So match case whole words. Oh, here we go. So I could just I could go through here, right? So replace next. Make sure I'm hitting all my spells. You know what? Just replace all. I could do that. I could also do that. 217 sounds about right. Now this is the real question here. If I build this... Okay, so some things like true spawn didn't work. Oh, you know why it didn't work? Let's pull up Cleansing Light. I think some of the parameters were named a little different because some of those old spells, they're not going to have all the new stuff in there. Yeah, see, like that was before I had spell scrolls or anything else. Water Walking, that's another old spell. Wow, this is really old. Stealth. You get to see some of the spells that I would like to add. Slow. Root. Root is actually... Root should already... Oh, this is the old version of Root. That needs to just be deleted. Where are you? System spell. Unused. Okay. Delete. I already have a version of Root. That spell's already in. Okay. Levitate. Dummy spell. Breed. This one was a little weird. Making it to where you cast it on an animal and they're ready to produce offspring again. Should have called it Viagra. Alright, see, now we're getting into other things here. So on cast stop, this one is going to have to be like just 0. I could just put in 0. Item tool spell scroll. This is also going to be straight up 0, because if it's 0, it's going to get ignored. Tool conjure item. This isn't even used anymore. But I'll put it in. Recover mana. 0, 0, 0. This is the Riftbloom Tea stuff. There we go. So that should be everything. Okay. If we go back into here, now this is the last part, and I'm going to have to do this later. So basically, I need to go through this list and break it down into... I got to take the buff list and then dissect that long run-on string, find all the dashes, find all the commas, and then create a list where it pulls the information out, and it's like swiftness 1 and then the amount of time left. Once that's done, that's the last piece of this puzzle. This new system should work. Should. What we could do now, though, is a simple test. Here, let's log into the world. And then I will put a... Here we go. I'll put this in here. We're gonna... Oh, I got it right here. So save. There we go. So when I log out, I should see this print statement. If I see this print statement, here, I'm going to do player.uid, right? So I should see my long UID. Actually, you know what? Let's get my name. Get name. Whoops. So I should see Vice. That means if I can see this statement and see my name, it means that my fear... Oh, there it is. Vice, 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 Vice. I called it 3 times, weirdly enough. So that would have saved any buffs. Yep, and the fact that it did not crash means we're good. So that works. That actually works. So yeah, like I said, the only thing I really need to figure out is this, and this is going to take time. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm not super adept with parsing out strings. I think I could use a string utility. Yeah, string util dot, and really this is going to be about, like, you know, counting characters, containing characters, right? Having to probably search. There's actually more here than what this is, but you know, it's going to be about, you know, just taking this and breaking it up into the different bits. By the way, what is mechanical damage? So there are creatures in the base game that are considered machines. I think the end boss that they have there, the big golem, that's considered a machine. Locusts are machines. The rust saw, oh god, what are they called? The rust locusts. Those are considered machine creatures. So if you're referring to Tinkerer, the buff Tinkerer, that makes it to where you kind of get the bonuses of a clockmaker. So repairing the teleportation things, you know, the broken teleportation pads, it costs less temporal gears to do that. I think it's normally 3, and then each version of the buff reduces that. I think 1 is like the lowest it goes. But then it also gives you to where you do bonus damage to mechanical creatures. So locusts, primarily locusts, and bells. Bells are mechanical creatures too. All right, so for this, I'm going to close all the other tabs. There we go. I'm going to leave this up because I need to I need to eventually come back to this, but I got a stir fry to make. I see, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Who are we gonna raid? Vintage Story. Who is actually playing this game? Perk Cuss, my man's on. But I have rated him quite a bit. We got a bunch of other people. Let's see. Let's see who we should raid. Who should we raid? I mean, we could just pass it to Perk Cuss. I do like Perk Cuss. You know what he does the permadeath stuff. I enjoy seeing things that people do that I cannot. I could never do a permadeath kind of thing because I die all the time to the stupidest stuff. Mostly it's starvation. Mostly that. We're gonna raid Perk Cuss. Awesome dude. Fun to watch. Raid Perk Cuss. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. So we made a lot of progress. If I can nail this tonight, I'll be getting back on a little later. If I can nail this, I will upload it to my test server, my multiplayer server. I'll test out, you know, like the fix for creating spell scrolls, all that stuff. And then I can push out an update. I'm wrapping it up now. But yeah, maybe expect an update later tonight. If everything goes smooth, it'll be later tonight. If not, you know, if I gotta push it back, I gotta push it back. But having this ability is going to be pretty sweet. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to y'all later. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. See you later, Lord Noob. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.